Hey everybody, Chris here. So after seeing some recent gains, are we going to also see higher support levels for Dogecoin going forward? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when we do live streams. Kind of a slow weekend overall. It is Memorial Day today on Monday here in the United States. So trading volume is low. Things are low, but yesterday we did have fun with the Indy 500. Devlin DeFrancesco finished 14th. They had this alternate strategy there for pit stops. It didn't quite work out well, but the Dogecoin wrapped car looked great, and it was a lot of fun. I was posting on X while the race was going on, and then had the live stream after. So I'll show you what I talked about in the live stream as well, which led to an overnight little pump. And as well as looking at the news and the chart. So let's get into it. Let me show you what I'm looking at. And we start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart, and we are just over 22.5 cents. That's right, 22.5 cents after moving up overnight, just to 23 cents there. So there is our new resistance line at 23 cents. Just touched over it before falling back. So will 22 cents be the higher support after Doge had come down on Sunday to about 21.5 cents. I bought back in here on my swing trade at about 21.8, which of course on Robinhood ends up being 21.9 because of the spread. We talk about that on the live streams as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just join on my next live stream, which is going to be Friday. That's right, Friday. This week, I will not be having live streams until then because I'm going to be in Las Vegas. That's right, flying out tonight. We'll be in Vegas for the Bitcoin conference, of course, representing Dogecoin, but also learning about Bitcoin and other things as well that are going on in the crypto world. And I'll be sharing some of that on videos as well throughout the week. But right now, as we're looking at the Dogecoin chart, the setup looks good. Run up to 23, little bit of a retrace here. Where's support going to be? Is it going to come all the way down to 22 or not? We'll be watching that. Bitcoin was dipping just below $107,000 and then came up to 110, just over 110, which I had predicted during the live stream on Sunday. That's right. What were we looking at? We were looking at liquidations, and there was a chat that said, "Hey, Chris, you got to look at the heat map for Bitcoin on the 3-day because there's a big and there it is right there. We identified this bright yellow line there at 109,845 right there. $250 million of shorts there, and we said, that's the target right there. And then I also said, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it went up to 110, just over, to grab more of the shorts up here. $169 million of shorts, just over 110. Well, and that's what Bitcoin did. So that's what moved. You can do all the technical analysis in the world, and in the end, it's going to be the news, and it's going to be the leverage, and getting those huge shorts there was a target for the market makers. They pushed the price up. Grab that liquidation, and there we are hitting $110,000. And so now Bitcoin's at about 109.8, settling in with Doge at 22.5. Overall, Bitcoin regains 110K after weekend sell-off. ADA, Doge lead uptick in crypto majors. That's the headline. That's what we're seeing. And we even have the futures for the U.S. stock market, which is open for a little bit here. Memorial Day, again, no stock trading. That's going to start on Tuesday. But President Donald Trump delayed a decision on EU tariffs, sentiment recovering, options position trading are turning bullish again. All of that is good for the markets. Markets overall are saying, hey, this is positive. And so that helped with the upswing that we saw overnight. It was all based on Trump's tweet on delaying these big EU tariffs. So that's what Trump does, right? And Peter Schiff was talking about this last night on his podcast. It was like, that's what Trump does, right? He tweets something bad, right? And the markets go down, and then he tweets something good, and the prices go back up, or he actually truths them, right? On Truth Social. Anyway, you get the idea. But overall, yesterday was a fun day. Dogecoin races into the Indy 500. $26,000 of Dogecoin were donated. And you might say, 26, that's not a lot. But all of those donations, they were pretty much coming from people like you and me. Not the big institutions, right? This is Dogecoin, the people's currency. Yeah, 21 shares put some in, and I'm sure House of Doge was behind some as well. But that was great. It was donating Dogecoin making a big scene at the Indy 500. And of course, our Dogecoin fan member, Devlin DeFrancesco, the car driver, is a Dogecoin fan. He's been holding Dogecoin for a long time, and it looked good. The car looked good. A few times you could kind of see the Dogecoin logo, but for the most part, I mean, the cars are going over 200 miles an hour, and even with the Fox, cameras like panning, it's just really hard to see the logo in the Dogecoin. But he led for 17 laps, which was exciting. The announcers were kind of like, yeah, well, he's off the same pit strategy as the leaders or the expected winners, and they tried something and it didn't quite work. But 14th place finish. It was a good showing, though, overall for Doge. Now, what's the big picture here? So Crypto Rover, he's the perma bull, right? Bitcoin history is repeating. It's like now here we are, just hitting some new support levels, higher support levels on Bitcoin. Is this going to be reminiscent of what we had in late 2024 before this big run up? I mean, there's more and more and more of these kind of fractal posts, like saying this was all that Trump election win, and it's not going to, we don't have that catalyst to make that big of a move coming right now. This is the summer. This isn't going to, now this could still happen later on in the fall, and we're just going to have to bounce around for a while. But that's Crypto Rover. That's what he does. And of course, CEO here saying altcoin season is coming. Get ready to make life-changing gains. And what is he pointing to? Last November again, this 90% pump. He's like, well, here we are, right? Have that crossover. I'm about to have that crossover again here. The 50 over the 100. So this is the 50 over 100 crossover. Here we're about to cross over again. Does that mean we're going to go on that big 90% pump? No, it doesn't. Because again, we need the news, right? It needs the news. It's not just because it's going to repeat that. But it's something positive to look forward to. Of course, Trader Alan, he's also making some nice charts here. We're zoomed in a little bit, and he's looking at these double doji candlesticks on the daily here. We just had that again. So does that mean we're going to follow this previous chart after that double doji and we're going to move up? Maybe we could. And then here we are again on the 3-day, a launch pad leading to a blast off. Of course, we know why this was, right? Again, this was November 2024 and the election. We need that. You can't just copy that fractal over, Alan, because you need that news, that thing to make it go, which was Trump winning the election, the pro-crypto president, right? He was supposed to be. Hasn't worked out so great so far, but wait and see. But it was really more on, for Doge, it was Elon and the Department of Government Efficiency and all that excitement about Doge, and that was all just a lot of hype. But we did get up to 48 cents for Doge, and that's a target we will be looking for. So look, Dogecoin extends rally, whale accumulation, signals growing confidence. Dogecoin breaks key resistance levels with strong volume, showing resilience as economic uncertainties push investors toward alternative assets. But those economic uncertainties are buying opportunities, which is why you buy at the dips, right? Not financial advice, of course, but that's what you do. despite ETF delays, and they're not delays, this was all expected. These ETFs are going to take a while, both Dogecoin and XRP. They're on roughly the same kind of time frame of their whole 240-day SEC review period will be into October, which is why I say the fall. We have to wait for the fall. So they're not delays. It's just part of the process. But what's going to happen when they get approved? I mean, that's going to be the big thing, right? The potential approval of a Dogecoin ETF could legitimize the asset in the eyes of traditional investors, opening doors to increased liquidity and broader market participation. Dogecoin is significantly up on the 1-month candle, and should the ETF be approved, this positive price action could be sustained. So that's what we're waiting for, but again, it's going to take a little while to get there. What else could happen? Doge God just reminds us of an Elon Musk tweet from 2022. I will keep supporting Dogecoin. So now that Elon is kind of backing away from the Department of Government Efficiency stuff and going to concentrate more on SpaceX and Tesla, and will there be some kind of thing he does with Dogecoin? Because he's been really quiet lately, been really quiet about Doge. He's been busy, I get that, but is something like this coming? Is something like that coming? So breakout above this pattern could send Dogecoin to $3. Now, again, I say, let's get to previous all-time high first, and then we can start talking about $1 before we get to $3. But looking at this multi-year pattern on the technical charts, TradingView analyst Akbar is looking at this overall view. Now, he's on a logarithmic scale here, and he's looking at 2021 and the big run up, the bear market, some little blips here, Elon buying Twitter, resetting back, early 2024, late 2024, and the run up to 48 cents, retest. Are we starting that next move up? Is this going to be that resistance level? And where are these higher support levels coming up? Well, certainly we know that that main support line there, that main rising support line from January 2021, after that first run up to 8 cents retest, that was like 2.5 cents, and then to 4.9 cents. And then we had that summer of 2023, June 5th, August 14th, and October 9th. That's when we were buying Dogecoin on those dips, particularly as part of that CRISPEX DCA portfolio that I showed during my live streams. That's when we were buying. And that is the strong low side support. But right now, as we're looking at 22, 23 cents, 22 now as support, is this next move up going to be the big move? And if we get to 48 cents, could it send Dogecoin to the moon? Two converging lines of a symmetrical triangle confirm that Dogecoin remains in consolidation mode. The upper edge of the triangle also aligns with the rim of a cup near 49 cents. Breakout above this level, critical for further upside. Well, of course, we're going to break that 48, 49 cent level to then go higher. How high is that going to go, though? That is what we will be looking at. On-chain metrics reflect a sharp increase in user activity. Over the past 7 days, new addresses have surged by 102%. Active address rose by 111%. So we are seeing this big uptick in Dogecoin interest. So all of that leading to, well, this is some short-term chop here we're going to have probably the rest of Monday. But yeah, Doge now up to 22.6. So we are seeing green, red, red, green, red, red kind of pattern here. Might come down a little bit below 22.5. We'll see. But right now, going into Tuesday stock markets U.S. markets may open green, which could push Bitcoin up back over 110, 111 maybe, and maybe start looking at a new all-time high while the Bitcoin conference is going on, which is where I'm going to be. So look for my videos there. And again, I'm not going to be live again until Friday. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below about these rising support levels, and will Doge hold? Give the video a like if you haven't already. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.